Okay, good day to all. All right, for topic 1 or chapter 1, okay, we are going to go through the introduction to managerial accounting. Okay, these are the learning outcomes for topic 1. Okay, one we are going to the comparison between managerial or management accounting and financial accounting. Okay, financial accounting is what you've learned in semester 1. 1.2 is a function of management and rules of accounting information in management. 1.3, we're going to go through the characteristic of managerial accounting information. And 1.4, we are going to go through the rules of management accountant. Okay, what's the definition of managerial accounting? Alright. Okay, managerial accounting is a process of providing economic and financial information for internal users. Okay, so the keywords for managerial accounting is: one, it's a process, okay, and it's a process of providing, all right, economic and financial information for internal users. Okay, we are focusing on internal users only. Okay, so these internal users are able to do decision making based on the economic and financial information provided. Okay, before we go through the characteristic in management accounting or managerial accounting, we are going to do the comparison between MA and FA. Okay, first we're going to see the types of users. Okay, in financial accounting, actually we have both. Okay, so financial accounting, the users are internal and also external users, but the main purpose of preparing the financial accounting statements and all are actually for the external users purpose. Okay, but the type of users that uses the information from management accounting are only the managers. Okay, because we are focusing on the internal users. Okay, so internal users here are referring to those who are making decisions in the company only. All right, and those who are able to have certain influence in decision makings. So workers or let's say pekerja lah, okay, like myself contoh, okay, I am not the internal users for management accounting because I cannot make any decision for the company. Okay, so the management is one of the example that will be using the management accounting informations, because these are the people who are able to make decision in the company. All right, okay, and then for frequency of reports, okay, in FA we can prepare the financial accounting statements or reports, okay, based on certain periods such as quarterly, annually, semi-annually. Okay, but for MA it's different because the reports made can be frequently needed by the management. So maybe you need to prepare a lot of report depending on what are the aims of objective of the management. So sometimes kita kena prepare dalam masa seminggu or every day or weekly, because we need to do certain decisions in the company, such as nak menaikkan harga kos barang, menaikkan gaji pekerja, okay, mengeluarkan produk baru. So all this needs to be researched, studied, and reported to the upper level managements. Okay, so you need to prepare the report as frequent as it is needed. Okay, it's not the same as FA. Okay, so timing for the reports. Okay, kalau FA we focus on the past, that means urus niaga tu dah berlaku, and then kita buat catatan based on the documents for the transaction. Okay, but for MA we are actually predicting, or we are actually planning for future. So semua yang kita buat dalam MA is something that yang belum berlaku lagi. So we are actually focusing on the future. Okay, so most of the decisions and most of the reports are basically your target or your aim for certain period of time. Okay, all right. For purpose of reports, okay, in FE, the reports in FE, it helps the investor and creditor to make investment and decision making for investments. Okay, tapi in ME, okay, why are we doing all the reports? Because we want to help the managers, okay, to plan and control the operations. Okay, it has nothing to do with investment sebab mereka adalah pengurus, menguruskan sesebuah perniagaan. So we don't need them to invest in the company. Okay, tapi FA dia nak tengok syarikat ni boleh untung atau tidak. So bila untung, that means dia ada potential, so they will invest in the company. Alright, okay. Types of reports. For FA, we are using financial statements like your comprehensive income statement and also financial position. Okay, but for management accounting, we focus on internal reports, and budget is one of the internal reports that we are using in MA. Okay, so focus on the reports. For FE, we emphasize on whole organization. That means when we are preparing the financial statements, we are actually focusing on the whole sales period for that particular accounting period. Okay, tapi for ME, we focus on details. That means we emphasize on products or processes or departments. Okay, so your reports can be on everything. Sometimes we are doing a new product, so we are preparing the reports for the products, or actually we want to do amendments on the processes. Okay, so we'll do a report for the amendment in the processes needed to produce the product. Okay, so dia lebih fokus pada certain parts of the manufacturing. Okay, alright. For number 7, the rules and regulations. Okay, for FE, we are required to follow GAAP standard, MFRS, IFRS, Company Act, and so forth. Okay, so that's why when you are preparing the statements, you must follow the format given. Okay, because it is for the external users. So you need to have a standard report so that you can compare your reports with other companies. Okay, tapi for ME, we don't follow any specific rules for reporting. Okay, so your report can be in any form as long as the format is dibenarkan dalam perniagaan lah. So maknanya laporan kita dalam MBA tidak tertakluk kepada apa-apa peraturan. So we are actually just following what the management asks us to do. Okay, so there is no specific format to do the reports in MA, except when we are supposed to do financial statements. Okay, sebab we must understand financial statements, dia ada requirements dia sendiri. They need to follow the GAAP standard, the MFRS and all. Okay, alright. Forms of report for FA is actually a summary. Okay, because you can see the sales total. Okay, but you don't know how many sales to how many companies you already made. Okay, so that one is basically in your files. Okay, but in the statement we can see the total of the sales or the total of the purchases. Okay, tapi in ME, the report will be very detailed and specific. Okay, sebab kita nak buat keputusan untuk sesuatu produk ataupun sesuatu pengeluaran pada masa akan datang. So you need to be specific in order to persuade or to provide the management information so that they are able to make decision. Okay, alright. So this is FA versus ME. So kalau pemahaman biasa, okay, FA ni lebih kepada melaporkan benda yang dah berlaku. Okay, so dia lebih kepada transactions lah. Okay, so transactions tu dah berlaku dan kita akan report berdasarkan dokumen yang kita terima semasa urus niaga tu berlaku. Tapi MA ni sebenarnya lebih kepada perancangan. Okay, so you akan merancang bersama-sama dengan team management what are we supposed to do for next year. So contoh, this year kita rugi. So apa yang kita nak buat supaya next year kita tak rugi? So we need to plan ahead. Okay, kita akan buat perancangan lebih awal. Okay, so that is ME, okay, compared to FE. Alright, okay, so here kita nak tengok a few statements and we want to indicate whether the statement is true or false based on what I've explained earlier. Okay, so A, managerial or management accounting have a single task within an organization. Okay, so it is collecting and reporting financial information to management. Is it true? Okay, so the answer is false. Why? Because managerial is not a single task. Dia ada pelbagai peranan dalam sesuatu organisasi, and it is not restricted to only reporting the financial information, because this is what FA do. Okay, MA we are planning, we are not reporting the financial information sebab benda tu tak berlaku lagi. Okay, alright, we look at B. Financial accounting reports are general purpose and intended for external users. Okay, FA, yes, right? It's for external users. Okay, and then we go to C. Managerial accounting reports are special purpose and issued as frequently as needed. Betul ke salah? Yes, this is correct. Because managerial ni, when you are preparing the report, you are actually trying to fulfill the needs required by the management level, okay, before they do any decision making. So kita buat sesuatu report tu berdasarkan perkara-perkara tertentu. Contoh, kita nak naikkan harga bahan mentah. So kita buat report hanya fokus pada harga bahan mentah sahaja. Okay, and kalau kata hari ni saya dah minta report bahan mentah, so let's say next week tiba-tiba berlaku bencana alam dan sebagainya yang menyebabkan kita tak boleh provide bahan mentah seperti yang kita rancang sebelumnya. So I will need to have another report next week. Okay, so that means we are kita boleh diminta untuk mengeluarkan report for ME as frequent as needed by the management. So kita tak boleh kata, oh saya dah buat dah report ni last week. No, sebab ME ni dia circumstantial, dia berdasarkan kepada situasi semasa. So bila kita nak buat perancangan, kadang-kadang kita kena tengok banyak perkara. Contohnya macam political scenario in the company. Kalau negara tu tengah bergolak, mungkin dia akan mempengaruhi pengeluaran. Okay, ataupun negara tu sedang dilanda musibah. Okay, dia pun akan mempengaruhi pengeluaran. Alright. Okay, so number C is true. And D, managerial accounting reports must comply with GAAP. Okay, so for MA, you don't need to comply with any regulations. Tidak ada sebarang peraturan tetap. Okay, so your types of reports can be anything as long as it is approved by the management level. Okay, tapi kalau FA lain, kita kena ikut. Tapi you kena faham betul-betul dalam MA kita masih menyediakan beberapa financial statements. So if we are preparing financial statements, that means we must comply to the regulations and standards. Sebab yang saya buat tu ialah financial statements, and financial statements is actually a report based on what has happened earlier. Okay, so bila kita melaporkan sesuatu yang dah berlaku, kita guna financial statement. So bila kita buat financial statement, kita kena ikut GAAP walaupun benda tu diperlukan dalam MA. Okay, this is something that you need to understand. Okay, alright, so for D, the answer is false. Okay, next. We are going to see the functions of managements and roles of accounting informations in management. Okay, so the function of management, we have 4 functions actually. Okay, so apa fungsi management? Pengurusan, we are focusing on pengurusan, bukan management, managerial accounting. Okay, so management, they are supposed to plan, and then they are supposed to direct, and then after they direct, they need to control, and then they will do the decision making. Okay, so bila kita plan, we choose the goals, and then we decide how. Itu perancangan lah. Contoh macam kita nak main bola kan. Okay, so kita ada strategi nak susun kita punya team macam mana. Okay, so bila kita dah susun, kita akan suruh lah, okay, A duduk dekat sini, B duduk dekat sini. That is actually directing. Okay, so you will implement all your plan objectives and provide necessary incentives. So kita kena beri sesuatu insentif so that kita punya directions tu akan dapat dilaksanakan dengan baik. Okay, and when we direct them, we need to control kan. Contoh macam kita main bola, kita ada coach kat tepi. Walaupun dia dah ajar dari awal, dia dah susun team, dah susun kedudukan pemain, tapi masa lawan dia masih juga jerit-jerit dekat tepi padang. That is actually controlling. Alright, so it is a process of keeping the firm activities on track. Okay, so kita tak nak pelaksanaan tu nanti lari daripada perancangan asal. Okay, and then when you have done all the plannings, okay, you need to make decision making. Alright, so yeah, it's not a separate management function, okay, but this is actually recognized in every management functions. So that means bila kita buat apa-apa saja yang berkaitan dengan ME, the final process of it is decision making. Okay, so that's the function of management. Alright, okay, so rules of accounting information. Okay, apa peranan, okay, maklumat perakaunan dalam pengurusan. Tadi, previous slide, I am referring to the rules of management. Slide sebelum tadi kita tengok pada peranan pengurusan. Okay, sekarang ni kita nak tengok bagaimana accounting information memainkan peranan dalam pengurusan. Okay, satu, bila kita ada accounting information, we can use that information to make decision making. And then, from that information also, kita boleh plan. Sebab bila kita dah tolong kira, kita dah buat reports, kita dah susun pro and cons, we do the strategies and all, then kita boleh plan apa yang kita nak buat next. Alright, and then bila kita plan, kita mesti specific, even though benda tu belum berlaku, but this is accounting. We are playing with numbers, so there must be a specific budget. You tak boleh cakap macam agak-agak lah RM10. No, there is no such thing as agak-agak, or simply like what you guys always tanya your lecturers kan, madam, kalau dia macam ini, there's no such thing as macam-macam. Okay, in ME, it's never about macam, it's a specific figure. So that's why we need to prepare budgets. Okay, and then kita akan value kita punya stock. Lepas tu, when we already have all the plannings, we will execute the planning. Okay, and during the execution, we will control. Lepas tu, kita akan evaluate performance. Okay, so from there, we can decide or determine the cost and the prices of products. So, kita tak boleh macam, oh, cost dia RM2 lah, so nak jual RM2.50 lah. No, we cannot decide on that yet. Okay, unless you already do your stock valuation and then you have done your control and evaluate your performance. Okay, sebab we need to look at the whole picture before we can determine the cost and the price for the product that we are going to manufacture. Okay, so bear in mind, kalau FA in AA015, we are focusing more on merchandise, retails. Okay, so kita tak ada kilang sendiri. So we bought finished goods from the factory and then kita jual balik. Okay, so actually we don't really need to decide on the raw materials. Tapi in MA, you yourself is a manufacturer, pengeluar. So bila kita pengeluar, kita, that means kita ada kilang sendiri. So bila kita ada kilang sendiri, you need to decide the cost and the prices of a product before we decide to produce the product. Okay, alright. Okay, so we look at exercise 2. Among these 4 statements about planning, which is the first management function? Apa dia ialah fungsi pengurusan yang pertama? Okay, alright. So dia kata satu je yang betul. So can you guess? Okay, you have A, planning is obtaining a future course of action in order to achieve an objective. Okay, planning is looking ahead. Planning is getting ready to do something tomorrow. Okay, plan is a trap laid down to capture the history. Okay, so kalau kita tengok daripada A, B, C, D, alright, okay, one is not correct, which is D. Okay, sebab planning memang betul, it's a future course, it's looking ahead, and it's getting ready to do something tomorrow or the day after tomorrow or in future. Okay, it's not a trap. Okay, dia bukan perangkap supaya kita lay down to capture the history. Alright, okay. So we look at exercise 3. We're going to state whether these statements refers to the act of planning, directing, controlling, or decision making. Okay, this is something that you really need to comprehend. Okay, so apa yang berlaku dalam A, B, C, D, which is which? Okay, so we look at A. Managers are working out, preparing a 5-year projections for expanding into the new market. Okay, so dia bagi tahu pengurusan sedang buat plan. Okay, projections of 5 years. Okay, rancangan 5 tahun untuk mengembangkan lagi pasaran ke pasaran yang baru. Okay, alright. So yang tu kalau you baca betul-betul, that is actually planning. Okay, sebab dia baru nak prepare. Okay, we look at B. A production supervisor keeps the production line moving. Okay, moving without any interruptions by giving clear instructions. So maksudnya dia pastikan apa yang dirancang tu berjalan dengan lancar. So bila dia berjalan dengan lancar tu, that means apa yang dia buat dekat situ, dia direct, memberi arahan. Okay, and then we look at C. When there are deviations from targeted objectives, manager decide what changes are needed to get back on track. Okay, kalau kata tiba-tiba daripada target objektif tu ada berlaku sedikit glitch atau ada macam ada halangan sikit, so apa yang dia nak kena ubah so that they can go back on track. Okay, follow balik apa yang dah dirancang dari awal. So yang itu kita panggil sebagai control. Okay, controlling. Alright, and then D, we are choosing the best alternative. Okay, so choosing the best alternative will be your decision making. Okay, so that is for exercise 3. Okay, we look at 1.3, characteristic of managerial accounting information. Okay, apa ciri-ciri information of managerial accounting? Okay, 1. Okay, dia ialah accuracy. Accuracy is ketepatan. So the information provided must coincide with the needs of management's functions. Okay, so setiap maklumat yang kita beri mestilah bertepatan dengan fungsi management tersebut. So when they are asking you about the pricing decision, so the information given must relate to the price or the planned the aim or the target price that you plan to execute. Okay, timelines. It must coincide with the time it is needed. Okay, so kalau saya nak laporan tu untuk saya nak buat I need to do the plans for next year. So maklumat yang saya perlukan ialah maklumat tahun 2022. Okay, and maybe I need some information from 2021 as well, or maybe from 2022. Okay, so that means you have 2020, 2021 and 2022. Okay, 3 years back before you can decide what you're going to do on 2023. Okay, alright, and then understandability. Okay, the reports, because we don't need to comply to any formats. Okay, so your reports can be in any format as long as it is understandable. Okay, so the reports prepared must be understood by managers. Okay, even though the managers have no accounting or any financial background. Okay, all right, next is the relevance. Okay, accounting information must provide different result for an activity. Okay, sebab bila kita bagi information for certain activities, okay, result untuk activity A tak akan sama dengan result untuk activity B. Okay, cost effective. Okay, this is the most important thing we need to execute in MA. Okay, so we must find the most cost effective actions. Okay, so the benefits of informations must outweigh the cost of providing it. Okay, and then flexibility. So the information given, okay, must be easily adaptable. Okay, so maksudnya dia boleh disesuaikan dengan pelbagai kaedah ataupun decision making. Okay, so it is not like when you have the informations of ME. Okay, so you can use the same information to make adjustment for other purpose as well. Alright, okay, so then we look at rules of management accountants. Okay, so kalau awak seorang accountant, okay, so what are your roles? Okay, first we are going to help the management to execute management functions. Okay, so bukan maknanya kita buat account saja 24/7. We are actually helping the management, okay, to do the management functions, and then we are responsible for ensuring that the organization complies with all internals and external accounting requirements. Okay, all right, and then number 3, as a management accountant, we must provide information, okay, and also accounting reports. Okay, all right, and then as an MA accountant as well, we must assist the department in achieving the organization's objectives. Okay, so the data provided by the management accountant is used to perform duties. Okay, and the management accountant is also a person which can influence the management on decision making, okay, based on your production policy and so forth. Alright, okay, so these are the roles of management accountants. So dia tak sama dengan FA, sebab FA we are actually focusing more on reporting, and we want to calculate. Actually sebenarnya kita nak tengok kita ni untung ke kita rugi. Tapi for MA, we are actually helping the management to execute the plans for next accounting period, or we are actually trying to help the management to do plannings for the future. Okay, all right, so that are the roles of management accountant. Okay, all right, so these are all you need to know on managerial accounting. So it's actually a very short topic. Okay, you just need to differentiate between FA and MA. So you need to understand what do you do in FA and what you are going to do in MA, and then we are going to see the functions of managerial accounting. Okay, information in the management. Okay, so before kita nak tengok apa characteristic information of MA in the company, we need to know the function of the management first. Sebab tu kita kena tahu, okay, management ni dia buat apa. So dia akan plan, dia akan direct, dia akan control, and then they do the decision making. Okay, so by having all the informations on managerial accounting, so apa yang dia boleh buat? Okay, so your information provided must be able to help the management to carry out the management roles and functions. Okay, so kita kena faham betul-betul sebenarnya apa fungsi management accountant. Okay, alright, so that's all for topic 1. Thank you.